Hello, Ella.
I don't think we've ever done this on a Saturday.
We definitely haven't ever done this on a Saturday, mainly because we managed to be a little bit better organised through the week, not looking at anybody in particular.
1, 2, 3, 1, what? Story of my life.
I think both of us very busy all of the time is the long and short of it. Bike coming. We're in a completely different location today as well.
Yeah, we're Ben's way, not my way. Thanks.
So we've got a bike coming in one direction. We've actually got a horse coming down towards us. We're still out on the kind of the tracks, but we're currently heading up towards Outer Seton Delaval up towards Newsham. We're not going to get to Newsham, don't worry, Josie. It's not going to be that bad. We've got at least 2 pubs that we could stop off between now and then if needed. So yeah. Anyway, what are we talking about today? We've got a couple of options.
Yeah, yesterday was Mental Health Awareness Day.
Yep.
I'm assuming that's for the whole year. Which again, there have been a lot of social media people that have posted about it and why it's important. Obviously, it's massively important. But I kind of think the best thing to talk about would be what is mental health and why is mental health important to look after. Morning. Just go past the massive horse there. So why
no more interruptions now.
What is mental health, why it's important, and how it affects also our fitness, basically.
Yeah. Well, also and how fitness affects your mental health as well, because it's a kind of a two-way street, isn't it? So yeah.
I'm going to start controversially. I think it's so easy for people to say that, like, exercise gives you good mental health.
Yes.
Not always. Yes, it should. Obviously, I'm promoting do your fitness. But I think, for example, even me today, to be brutally honest with you, I've got an interval session later on. Not a single bone in my body wants to do it. I know for a fact during the session I'm going to feel shit. Probably after my session I'll feel rubbish. But it will, in the long term, make me feel really good. Not every session is you're going to want to do. Not every session you're going to feel great. And this is why we always say to people, you can't rely on motivation.
Yes.
Because if I was to rely on motivation today, I would not be training.
Yes.
Whereas I know for a fact that I do need it. I've got a competition coming up, but also it is beneficial for my body. It's good for my mental. It will be good for my mental health later on. But yeah, so it's kind of like stop also relying on it giving you good mental health, because if you rely on every session giving you those endorphins, I think it's going to be really hard to continue training.
Yeah, it's definitely not something you should be using for motivation per se.
Yeah.
I think that is that kind of, the habits. And I mean, you opened our whole conversation today, Joseph, when you turned up with them. Do you want to come and do a track session with me? Because I really don't want to. What was my answer? I really don't want to either. And also, sadly, I've got other things that I've got to go and do. But yeah, I think that whole having a negative attitude towards exercise, absolutely 100%. The couch is more comfortable. Yeah, sticking on another repeat of something on Netflix is an easier option to make, but that's that kind of short-term benefit. And if you keep making those short-term decisions, then that long-term benefit you're never going to get, and that's where that kind of good mental health ultimately comes from, because you're making those positive, kind of reinforcing those positive habits over that long term, and kind of building the health and the well-being and the lifestyle and all that kind of stuff that actually you really, really want.
I think it's the habit that's more important that makes your whole mental health.
Yeah.
For example, going on holiday, you're absolutely more than welcome to not train like you're on holiday.
Yeah.
But I'm somebody who likes to, because it's part of my daily habit, and I know for a fact that when I start missing it out, I start getting itchy and twitchy, like not the nicest person, because it's my space to kind of be in my head. And even today when I'm running, it'll be my point of kind of going quiet and everything shuts off.
Yep.
So I think, it's kind of those habits is what brings you mental health.
Yeah. Having that space that you can go to, that's effectively your space. Like nobody, you might be there with friends or whatever, but ultimately when you're pushing yourself through that sprint session, or you've got that heavy squat coming up or whatever, and actually you're 100% in your own head at that stage.
Yeah.
I know I definitely am. You're not really focused on anything else, and that's actually, I'm going to say, a really good place to be. Just you and some exercise to go and do. But yeah, and if you were going away on holiday though, absolutely chill out on it, take that back step. But I'll still go out for like an easy run, or get some easy mobility work in, because it's something, if you've built those habits in, it just becomes part of who you are anyway, doesn't it? And that kind of whole exercise makes me feel better. I get really twitchy.
Yeah, it starts my day.
Get out. I'm going to say, like, for me, Sunday morning. So I go climbing on a Sunday morning, meet with a few friends there, and if I don't get to go, I get grumpy. Like, even if I feel rubbish about going climbing and I'm just not feeling like physically in the best shape, if I don't go, that ability to just kind of find a space that's just me and I can go and do. I don't have to think about work, and I don't have to think about anything else at all, really. And I think that's really, really important, to kind of have that ability to go somewhere and do that thing that is 100% for you. And then you get those kind of long-term benefits coming from it. You go and put those activities in, and then that gives you confidence in who you are, and the ability to push through those hard times when you're like, I really can't be bothered. Building that kind of resilience in the system. I thought you were going to start somewhere else when you're going to say you're going to be controversial, because I think what a lot of people see when it comes to health and fitness is that kind of external aspect as well. So seems like I've done this a lot recently, picking on people on Instagram.
Yeah.
And there's that whole, that presentation of an aesthetic or an exercise style or whatever, and it looks fantastic when you're doing it, but actually it can be a really, really false reality in terms of what's going on. So I'm going to say that a lot of stuff when it comes to good mental well-being is not to rely on how other people look or act or what they can achieve.
What their days are like. Well.
Everybody has a good day and a bad day, don't
they?
Yeah.
I'll put my hands up. I'll probably post my interval session later. People probably won't know that I really didn't want to do it. Yeah. But you've seen it on Instagram and it looks like I'm always motivated, but I'm not.
Yeah.
I have a good friend who's very, very big on Instagram, to be fair. And she posts all the time about how amazing her life is going. I know in real life it's going so shit. She is so beyond miserable at the minute. She's stressed the hell with work, her social media present and everything. But everybody looks at her and thinks she's got the healthiest lifestyle. She eats the glamorous food. She does all the workouts and everything. She doesn't. She literally doesn't.
Yeah.
I kind of don't rely on that.
It's very easy to try to hold yourself up to that vision of perfection sort of thing, and 99.99999% of the people that I've ever spoken to in the industry, particularly who are promoting themselves on social media, their life is not like that. Absolutely, their life is not like that. I think the only people who potentially have a lifestyle like this, and I don't know any of these, are your proper professional athletes who, they have a live-in chef and the guy who comes in and gives them a massage twice a week, and they've got millions of pounds in the bank and they just go and kick a football around or knock a tennis ball around or whatever. I think they're a really, really small percentage of those people. Everybody else, we're just winging it most of the time, aren't we?
But even a really, really good person to listen to is Jake Dean. He's one of the Elite 15 athletes, and basically, even though he's top of the leaderboard for High Rocks and he's doing a 2:15 marathon, even though they're absolutely incredible, that'd be an insane dream to be like that, still doesn't feel like he's good enough.
Yeah.
Still does not think he's good enough and still thinks he's got so much to go. And I'm like, how do you possibly have more to give? What, are you going to get, an hour marathon? But in their heads, if you are pushing yourself, you're never good enough for it.
Yeah.
As deep as that sounds, you can take that one way or the other.
Yeah.
You can take that as in I've got so much more to give, which is amazing because it actually shows your mental health's really strong because you're believing in yourself that you've got more to give. Or you can obviously beat yourself up about it, but that's the way we don't want to steer towards.
Yeah. No, I think it's not deep. I think that's actually really, really important, is that because there is that balance, that boundary between having the will and the drive to push yourself, absolutely to push yourself, but it can become a massive negative if you feel that you're not good enough or you didn't push hard enough in that session, and you can disappear down a serious rabbit hole. You look at some of the elite athletes over the years who've turned to drink and drugs and all that kind of stuff, addicted to pain relief medication and all this kind of shenanigans, just because they felt that they weren't actually good enough. But how many people were looking at them and looking up to them and just saying, oh God, that person's amazing, that elite level athlete can do all this stuff, I wish I could do that. But actually they definitely weren't in a good place. So it can be a two-edged sword, having the drive to push forwards, but not tipping over that edge into I'm never going to be good enough.
But also, those people are training like 3 times a day and have the most expensive and elite coaches ever. I'd obviously myself and Ben, I'd quite like to say we're good coaches, but these people have got coaches who have performed athletes and like Olympic type of things. Like that is not your everyday normal. So if that is the people you follow it, absolutely use them for motivation. But don't compare yourself. Because I'm telling you now, they're not mums with kids and doing a 9 to 5 job at the same time, or your dads who have 9 to 5 job, running the kids, everything.
Quite happy if you have a little bit of a kick around for Sunday morning and don't break something. That's well done. That is goal achieved. There is a lot of other stuff that we could potentially delve into on mental health, because it is such a big topic. And I was going to say, let's touch on, because you did mention it, that kind of immediate and the long term, because obviously the immediate, when you're going into exercise, you really can't be bothered, you really don't want to.
No.
And that's quite a negative thing if you're thinking, I've got to go and force myself to do that. But actually, you need to look at that longer term benefit as well. And I think that's what a lot of people don't really get, or that kind of equation between good mental health and exercise. It's not actually what you do day to day per se, it's that cumulative effect over time.
I think also it depends what you're training for as well. So for me, really not wanting to do today's session, I'm really training my mental mindset. So I know for a fact when I'm doing some of those 400 metres, halfway through I'm going to be I really want to give up. But that's the time that I've got to push harder. And that'll accumulate to my high rocks competition. When I probably get halfway through, feel like I'm burning out, that's when I've got to kickstart that mindset and push to the end. But if you're somebody who is not training for anything particular, just wants to get future-proof your health, get stronger, if you really don't want to go do your weight session, go for a walk. Go do something else that you feel like will benefit you. Don't go and sit on the sofa and put Netflix on. Go do something active. But if it's not going to the gym, what else can it be? Could it be going for a run? Could it be going for a cycle? Go into the gym, sit on one of the bikes. Anything like that. Obviously move the legs, don't just sit on a bike and go downhill. But
that'll be me. Downhill
things. But like Ben said, go do climbing, go do swimming. There's so many sports out there. Just do something. It's not that deep. If you don't get a day gym session, it's really not that deep. But do something is more important than nothing.
Even flicking YouTube on and sticking a yoga video on, because that gives you that. It does give you that endorphin release. Like every single exercise session that you do gives you an endorphin release. That's actually how shit the session actually was. But just sitting on the sofa doesn't give you that endorphin rush.
Like I say, we've done a few of these. Well, we've done 2 now. We've not been able to get outside walking on them. The ones where we come out and walk and talk to you, it's so much better. It's our endorphins,
There's a huge correlation as well actually between outdoor exercise and mental health, and that's possibly where a lot of that walking comes from as well. So indoor exercise, yes, it's good for you, but actually being out in nature in some capacity has actually been shown to have a much more positive mental impact as well as part of that process. So if you are just feeling a bit down or a bit glum or whatever, actually just getting out for a walk in some trees is a good thing. In fact, I could share a story about one of my mates who used to go for counselling for various things over the years. He says he usually turn up, and he was just this kind of guy who'd turn up 10-15 minutes before his session was due to start, because he was anxious about getting there sort of thing. And he'd spend then walk into his counselling session and he'd be feeling a lot better because he'd been out and he'd been active, and it kind of gives you that space to potentially think about stuff or talk through with somebody that you're out with or whatever. So yeah, get out, get active. Right, anything else, or do we want a bit more on mental health? I'm going to say, has anybody got anything that they've benefited from in terms of mental well-being from exercise? If anybody wants to come drop comments in, any queries on exercise and mental health,
yeah,
drop
I think
in the group chat.
we've all got our own stories, and I think like that's what shapes it, but I don't think it ever finishes either. Like mine started from quite a deep side, but then now it's like so many other things that I love it for. And just practicing what you preach at the same time, you know, like I always say part of my mental health is the little ones, and being able to them to see me training makes me feel stronger for them.
Yep.
You know, if I do have future kids, it'll be the exact same thing.
Yeah,
For your dreams to see you training, that's like
yeah,
it's important.
yeah. It's a big part of why I do health and fitness stuff, is because I need to keep up with a 12-year-old, a very active 12-year-old as well. So yeah, that's kind of hugely important to me. It gives me, you know, value and purpose and all that kind of stuff as a dad. So yeah, that is all good. And it's not a, like you said, it's not a kind of a start-stop. You know, you do it once and you're good forever. It's very much a continuum. You know, it's up and down. You might start from a dark place, but then you end up, everything's good for 6 weeks, 6 months, 6 years, and then something might go wrong and you drop down. So yeah, don't think it's ever going to be like, oh, that's it, fixed it, done, sorted. You're always a little bit with this stuff.
Gosh, that was quite a nice little section. Like Ben said, any questions, just drop them in. Like, have a little open discussion. That's what the group chat's for. No embarrassments.
Absolutely. Definitely no judgments. We are, at the end of the day, here to help and support. And I suppose that the stuff that you're really, really not comfortable putting out there, but maybe want answers to, drop them in on a private message if you've got that opportunity on your coaching, and then we can anonymise perhaps and share back onto the group chat with kind of our take on potential solutions or answers. So yeah, but feel free to share. What is it? Like, share and subscribe.
God.
Nonsense. Yeah. Right. Should we wrap it there?
Yeah,
it's quite a short one today, and we'll see you all
next week.
See you all next week.